Hi, my name is Jamie. I live in Saudi Arabia for now, and I have a makeup collection that just keeps getting larger. It didn't today, but I am going to be using a new palette, and I'm very, very excited about it. If you're new here, hi. I really like eyeshadow, makeup, indie brands, all the things, and yeah, I just like to hang out, chat about makeup, and if you're into that, please feel free to subscribe. And if you're returning, thanks for coming back. I like to see you. Leave me a comment, and yeah, let's get into it today. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using this Bella Beauté Bar palette. This is the Pastel Gardens palette. And if you guessed correctly, this was the palette that I was like, yeah, so these are the recent indie releases, and I definitely already bought one. So if you guessed this one, you were right. Here's my issue, is that I do have things to do today. So I gotta like use this, but also make it wearable. So let's see if that little task can be done. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing quite yet. I have used this palette once before. I'll put up a picture here, and it turned out, but I want to make it a little bit more wearable today. I am like, I have to be around people, you know, to be like walking around and like around people. I don't like doing like big bold makeup with crazy eye looks all the time. I want to use some duochromes. I do want to use some of the mattes, but I need to kind of like do it in a way that is a little bit more. I do have a couple of options for companion palettes. I think I could use this Sage the Day palette, and I haven't used it yet. And this does go very deep, very dark, and there is a pastel in it, so that might be a good direction. I'm not 100% certain I'm wearing green though yet, so I also am kind of thinking about wearing gray, so this side may be a good option as well. So I gotta think about it. I gotta think about it, and I'm not sure. I just don't know. And I'm gonna maybe do a more gray look. So if you're into that, please feel free to stick around, and let's get started. All right, so I start in the Interstellar palette, and I put Rocky on my outer corner. I do end up putting a black dark matter later down, but in the shape of a wing, just to keep it really soft. And then I blend that out with Hubble and kind of bring that gray tone into the crease of my eye a bit more. Then when I start using the Pastel Gardens palette, I had to find kind of the right combination of shades that was going to sort of give me the effect I wanted. I went into Larkspur first, and it looked nice, but I had to like build it up quite a bit in order to see much impact. So I kind of tried to change tactics a little bit, and I went into the shade Lavender, which is a really pretty shade, but again, it didn't sort of give me the impact that I wanted, which is not the fault of the palette. Like, this is a pastel palette, so it's not going to be highly impactful. And I just spent some time kind of blending it out, cutting my crease. Then I started to go into Iris, but then I realized I didn't want it to be so purple. So I went into Blue Daisy, which was definitely the right decision. It's very pretty. However, you don't really get to see me doing that because I'm a donut, and I used the whole palette to cover my face as I was doing it. But Blue Daisy gave me the effect that I wanted from Larkspur. It was just a bit deeper, and then I went back into Larkspur and kind of blended it out, and it worked really nicely. Then for my shimmer, I used Morning Glory. I used it on my finger. Again, I'm silly, and you can't really see me applying it, but you see me apply it a bit more later. And then I went into Dark Matter, and I placed a wing, again, just to make it softer. Overall, I enjoyed the experience of using this palette in this way. I think that pastels are more often best used to blend out other colors, so in this regard, it was fun. All right, here is the finished look. Outfit-wise, I went a different direction, so I hope it kind of goes, but here it is. So, the palette. The palette is really nice. I really think the best shade that I used today was the shade Blue Daisy, this shade right here. And like like I showed you, I'm wearing a bit of Morning Glory, and I feel like the best way to apply these really foily duochromes is with a finger. You know, that's not necessarily my favorite method of application, but they are just very foily and very emollient, so that's just kind of the way it is. I will say that I don't think the duochromes hold up that well on my eye. This is the second time I've used the palette, and both times I was a little bit like, ugh. So you can kind of see there, I'm getting a little creasing already, but it is really beautiful, and honestly, that's kind of normal. I think there's probably something I can do about that as well. I may have to give it a try because it's looking a little bit bad right now. I am gonna take just a little bit of like setting powder on a brush, and I'm gonna try to pat out the crease a little bit because my eyeshadow is creasing for sure. I really like the palette. It can be used as a standalone palette. With the look I did first, I used a black liner and smoked it out, and then put the shadows on top of that, cut the crease, da-da-da. So I didn't use any other palette to, you know, like make the look more deep. I didn't like mess with it too much. Today, just because I have like places to go, things to do, I did end up having to use a different palette as well to kind of create a more cohesive look. And that's okay, I'm not offended by that. And this is a beautiful palette. It gives you a lot of options. There's a lot of duochromes and multichromes to work with, and as far as I'm concerned, that is a win. Like I said, if you're looking for a standalone palette, I think you can kind of make it happen, but it's not always going to work like that. But if you're not offended by using it in conjunction with another palette, then you're golden. It's good. I really like the mattes. It works well. If you are interested in picking up this palette or anything, if you're interested in picking up this palette or anything else from Bella Beauté Bar, please feel free to look at my code, use my code. You can also use the link down below in the description. Any of those things will work. Please do not feel obligated, but if you want many off, I can help you with that. So, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time.